Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have news to share about all the ways that Donald Trump is destroying the economy and businesses with his ridiculous tariffs, also his deportation policies. Some of this carnage is directly impacting people who voted for him in 2024, specifically states that went for Donald Trump. So before I get into the details, though, do me a favor, please hit the subscribe button below this video. It is free for you, really helps the show to reach a wider audience. And a huge, huge thanks to everyone who supports the show with donations. So here's the deal. Here's what's new on the tariff front. Last week, there was data that was released, which one expert called a canary in the coal mine because of the weakness of the economy. So take a look at this CNN report.
McDonald's just reporting its worst quarterly sales drop since COVID, saying customers are nervous, with low-income customers cutting their spending by nearly double digits from last year. Middle-income customers also pulling back. Several fast food chains, Chipotle, Domino's, Starbucks, all say they're seeing similar pullback. Americans are also going out to eat less at more casual sit-down chains. And it's not just about going out to eat. There's a new survey which shows more Americans are also taking out loans to pay for their groceries. An increasing number of shoppers are using those buy now, pay later services. I'm sure you've seen them when you go to check out. They're starting to make their payments, though, on that agreement, making them late.
So not a good sign. And small businesses are suffering the most. The Guardian spoke with a brewery in Pennsylvania, one of the states that flipped to Trump. And this brewery owner said, quote, "In a lot of ways, it feels like COVID 2.0. So many things are getting disrupted so quickly." And the company's COO said that they've received emails from suppliers saying that prices are going to increase as much as 130%. The owner is a guy named Matt Catase, I think is how you pronounce it. He told The Guardian, quote, "You can't instantly start growing New Zealand hops in America. We use a lot of American hops, but then we have beers that are Australian or New Zealand hops, and we have malt that comes from Canada. If you're trying to make a traditional German lager, yeah, you kind of need German malt." Yeah, things that Trump doesn't care about, doesn't understand. The Guardian spoke with other local businesses as well. They received similar feedback about price increases. And the Orange County Register reported that businesses are losing orders because of Trump's tax. So, a Wisconsin based company called Aura Seating, they just laid off half of their California employees because of the tariffs. They apparently make high end chairs for hotels and casinos, places like that. Well, they just lost $3.8 million worth of business, specifically because of the added costs of the tariffs. And the owner said, quote, "Our customers are saying that maybe it will be another quarter before they can even look at buying those products because they are not making any money. I don't want to let go of any more employees, but it's going to be difficult if we don't get these orders in another quarter. I'm not saying I'll close down, but it'll be really difficult for me to sustain myself and all these employees." So there's the Republicans' trickle down economics, guys. This is what it actually looks like. When things are good, everything goes to the top. And then when things go to hell, it rolls down to everybody else. And over again, these business owners who spoke with both news outlets mentioned that buyers are holding off, that people are holding, whether it's people, whether it's other companies, they're holding off because of the uncertainty of Trump's tariffs. And some small companies are now fighting back. So the owners of a Minnesota toy store, they joined with 10 other small businesses and they filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration. And specifically because he is usurping Congress power over tariffs. They have the legal authority, the constitutional authority to impose tariffs, not the president unilaterally. So in their legal filing, the one for the Toy Story, it says that approximately 95% of the toys or the company's products, their toy products, they're manufactured in China. 95%. And the owner explained to a local NBC affiliate, quote, there are very few companies left making them in the US. And this is something that has been going on for 40 to 50 years. This is not something you can change overnight. It takes years. It takes years to set this kind of stuff up. And he was explaining too, like, we just don't have that kind of workforce. We don't have the expertise. So, I mean, you're not just talking about building a building and putting in equipment. You're talking about training actual human beings to do this work. I mean, that's more than a couple years. So all of this, needless to say, is weighing on Americans. It's hanging over the economy. Sadly, it is about to get worse because a bunch of large companies just announced that they are going to be hiking their prices. Some already have, but some are saying it's coming. So Black and Decker, Adidas, Procter and Gamble, Henkel's, Hasbro, and Avocado Green Mattress Company, they have all said they've either already increased prices or they're going to be increasing them in the near future. And then some have said both. Some have said, look, we've already imposed price hikes, but we have to do it again. If these tariffs remain in place by the end of the year, before the end of the year, we will have to increase them again. And some large companies are reporting big losses because of a reduced revenue in just the first quarter of this year. So Rite Aid is one of these. They announced they're going to be filing for bankruptcy again. They had just done a restructuring and they're now filing for bankruptcy. They also announced that they're laying off workers at their Pennsylvania corporate offices. Again, a state that Trump just flipped. And the CEO, he said this is 100%. He cited, I should say, the downturn in the economy, but he also mentioned the tariffs. He mentioned increased costs. So all of this is just piling up. And then Skechers, the shoe company, they just sold their company to a private equity firm for 9.4 billion. And this comes right after they signed onto a letter to Trump, along with other shoe companies. And they warned that these tariffs pose an existential threat to the United States footwear companies. We are also seeing a backlash in the housing market. So, Robert Dietz is the chief economist at the National Association of Home Builders. And he said all of this uncertainty in the market is creating a, quote, wait and see economy. And the Washington Post wrote, quote, existing home sales in March saw their biggest monthly drop in more than 2 years, falling almost 6% during what is normally the spring selling season. Construction spending fell broadly in March, and housing starts, marking when builders break ground, fell more than 11%, according to government data, with borrowing costs and a tight labor market slowing new construction. So I don't think we're going to see the true impact of these tariffs and deportation and everything else until the summer, because that is the real moving, season. That is when most people buy and sell their houses because kids are out of school. It's easier for people to move. There's, you have to deal with weather issues, no holidays really outside of 4th of July. And you hope to get it sold before Labor Day. So yeah, I think we're in for some pretty surprising numbers in the coming months. And builders are reporting that they have already had their suppliers increase prices because of the tariffs, which is going to bump up the cost of each home. So on new homes, or when it comes to construction, prices are going up. And they said that based on the price increases that they're seeing, it could raise the price of each new home by $11,000. That's what they estimate. And because of the increased price to purchase a home, that is now pushing rents up. So for the last 3 months in a row, the price of rent has increased when it was finally starting to calm down last year. And it's not just Trump's tariffs that are tanking the economy, as I mentioned, because his cruel and evil immigration policies are really hitting companies hard, specifically farmers. Newsweek had just published an article. It was titled Trump's Mass Deportations Are Pushing U.S. Farmers to the Breaking Point. In it, they explained, quote, the crisis facing U.S. agriculture is not just a political issue, but an economic one. Labor shortages in the sector are already contributing to rising food prices. Farms are struggling to find enough workers to harvest crops, which results in lower yields, a tight supply, and higher costs for consumers. Perishable crops such as fruits and vegetables are particularly vulnerable. So, yeah, all the way around, he is pushing up costs. He's pushing up the cost of rent, the cost of homes, the cost of groceries. He is putting people at risk. He is causing small business owners to have to either shut down or lay off workers. Explain to me, somebody on the MAGA side, explain to me what it is you're so excited about. What has he done that is so great? And what do you see coming? Because I'll tell you right now, if you were hoping that these tariffs were going to bring jobs back, then why is he trying to negotiate with anybody? Because if he negotiates and gets their tariffs down, and then he removes our tariffs, then what is the incentive for businesses to build here and start manufacturing here in the US? You guys don't get it. That you can't have it both ways. Either the tariffs stay in place and it brings jobs back, it brings manufacturing back to the United States, or you're doing it to negotiate to get other countries to lower their tariffs. In which case, that doesn't really do anything. Okay, we have a trade deficit. We provide more services than they do. That is a red herring. It is a BS excuse. It's, oh, look, a squirrel. He doesn't know what he's doing. He does not know what he's doing. So anyway, I will keep an eye out. I'll have more stories for you, I'm sure, about the carnage that Trump is causing. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.